Yo, chat. I've been in rooms with scouts watching trials. I've sat on the other side of the notepad. I've also been the player at the trial hoping somebody notices me, and I've been the scout deciding who gets noticed as well. So when I tell you that there's a gap between grassroots football and academy football, I'm not just guessing. I've lived on both sides of it. I know it to be true. And I can tell you that honestly, the gap is not what most players think it is. It's not about talent. There are grassroots players right now who are more talented than some of the academy players in their same age group. But I'll tell you that the gap is in the habits, the daily discipline that academy environments force onto players. And if you're a grassroots player, without that structure, nobody's gonna build it for you. So you have to build it for yourself. Now that's what this video is about. I'm gonna give you nine things that you can start doing today to close that gap. And it's not theory, it's not motivation. It's actual habits that academy players have drilled into their week, into their system, that most grassroots players are completely missing in today's time. And if you stick around to the end of the video, I'm gonna show you exactly where to take the next step for free. Numero 1, doing the extras. This is the one thing that separates most players or more players than anything else that I've seen. Every player who has ever crossed from grassroots into a professional environment has one thing in common. They did more than what was asked of them. That's after the session ends, before it starts, 5 minutes of extra ball work, 5 minutes of fitness, uninstructed, self-directed. Nobody told them to do it, they just did it. And here's why it matters beyond just extra reps. Coaches notice players who stay. Scouts ask coaches about character, and when a coach says this player always stays behind after training, that definitely goes in a report, or better yet, it just gets highlighted. That's not talent, that's character. And character gets contracts, believe me. When I was at Ipswich Town, the players who got kept on, they weren't always the most talented in the group. They were the ones who showed up early, they stayed late, and they treated every session like it mattered. The ones who did the minimum, they got dropped. And I know the feeling of what getting dropped is like. Number 2, having your own structured personal development routine. Look, your team training is probably 2 or 3 sessions a week, maybe less. That is not enough. Okay, academy players at your age have structured individual work on top of their team sessions, on top of matches weekly and any private sessions. Not because they're more talented, but because the system gives them that structure, it forces that development. Now you don't have that system because you're not signed, so you have to create it for yourself. I'm gonna tell you what a serious player's week looks like outside of team training. So number 1, the daily things that they do are as minimum as 15 minutes of ball mastery, morning or evening, non-negotiable. 3 times a week fitness work. I'll come back to this one. Once a week video review. I'll come back to that too. Before every session, a 5-minute mental preparation. Also gonna come back to that. This isn't a professional schedule, it's just realistic. It's under 2 hours a week on top of team training. And that's the bare minimum in terms of extras that you do. And it's the difference between a player who stays where they are and a player who moves forward. The reason most grassroots players never close the gap isn't because of talent. It's because nobody ever showed them what to do with the time that they already have. That's exactly what I break down inside my free community on WhatsApp. Okay, by the way, if you want help building this routine properly, I've got a free group chat where I drop weekly training gems, okay? I review players, clips, and I post new opportunities. It's completely free. The link will be in the description of this video. Jump in there and you can ask me anything directly. Nice to meet you. Number 3, showing up for yourself consistently. Not when you feel like it, not when things are going well, but every single time, okay? Here's something about football development that nobody talks about real quick. Results, they lag behind effort by months. I'm gonna explain. You put the work in for weeks, and nothing visible changes. No trial, no call, no scout attention, no highlight, just the process, the continuous, endless process. And then almost suddenly it clicks. A trial invitation or a scout notice, a coach's comment at the minimum, but only because of all of the work that went in before anyone said it. Only because of your readiness, okay? I'm gonna be honest and share something. After my injury during COVID, no academy, no structure, just a park. I had two choices. I either let the environment dictate my effort, or I try and set my own standard. I showed up. I couldn't even play, but I showed up. I showed up to the park, to the group, every single time, just for the mental motivation, the spirit, the uplift that was amongst me and my peers. We were all in the same energy. That consistency in no structure environment is what eventually shaped everything that came after. Basic ball group now exists because I kept showing up when nobody was watching, even whilst I was injured, okay? Players who stay consistent for 3 months with no external validation almost always break through. Not because 3 months is magical, is a magical time frame, but 3 months of real consistency builds something visible, okay? Highlight real consistency. Number 4, being aware of your weaknesses. The most common training trap that I see is players spending all of their time on what they're already good at. And I mean, yeah, cool, it feels great, you look sharp, the reps feel clean, but you're not closing any gap, you're not actually improving, you're not working on anything. The players who improve the fastest, they spend deliberate time on their weaknesses. That's uncomfortable, but that's where development actually lives, in uncomfortability and the repetition of uncomfortable environments or simulations. When a scout sees a one-footed player, oh my God, it doesn't just tell them that there's a technical gap. It connects into their mind to limited movement options, predictability, maybe even low football IQ. Because a player who truly understands the game moves and receives the ball in ways that require both feet. So if you know your weak foot isn't where it needs to be, that's not a problem, that's just information. That tells you exactly where your next 10 hours of training should go, 10 hours. So here's a challenge. I want you to write down 3 things that you know you're weak at right now, and be honest with yourself. It's okay. And then for the next 2 weeks, I want you to spend minimum 20 minutes every single session working specifically on one of them. The gap between grassroots and academy isn't about what you're good at. It's about whether you've got a plan for what you're not good at. And again, if you want a proper framework for this, I've put together a free guide on how to get scouted in 2026. It covers everything: how to identify your gaps, how to structure your training, what scouts are actually looking for right now, and it's free. The link's in my description, so make sure you go and download that free guide. And join the WhatsApp community whilst you're at it so that you don't miss the next one. Number 5, being coachable. And I don't just mean listening to your coach. I mean applying what you're told. Here's the difference. A coach says something, so by the next rep, are you trying it? Not the next session, not the next match, not the next time you see your coach, the next rep, the next time he says, okay, continue. That responsiveness, that level of responsiveness is visible to coaches and to scouts, even to your parents. It builds trust faster than anything else that you can do. I've worked with a player, right? And technically he was very good, an exciting prospect, but he struggled to take instruction without feeling like it was a personal attack. He took feedback emotionally, and that affected his relationships in football. This player went on numerous trials. He was turned away more than once, but what changed exactly for him, because he's now signed at a professional academy. And I'll say what changed was, number 1, time and maturity, but number 2, also the rejection that he faced. Rejection made him realize that the feedback he was fighting was actually the information that he needed to work with to improve. Once he stopped taking it personally and started applying it, he got signed straight away. So when scouts and coaches sit in rooms and discuss players, and they do, the conversation isn't just about your technical ability. They're actually asking, is he coachable? Does he apply what he's told? Does he show up whether somebody's watching or not? Your ability gets you in the room, but your mindset determines whether or not you're gonna stay in this room. Room being a trial opportunity or an academy setting, okay? So next session, when your coach gives you a correction, don't nod and forget it. Apply it straight away, immediately. Show them that you've heard it. Number 6, video reviews. Very important. This is part of the development that nobody sees and that players usually skip almost universally. Once a week, please, for 10 to 20 minutes, just watch your own footage. What did your first touch look like under pressure? I want you to judge yourself. What were your movement patterns? Where were you when you didn't have the ball? You can't fix what you haven't actually seen, okay? So you need to go back to it. Go back to your last game, watch 10 minutes. Only watch your positioning when you don't have the ball as well. And I guarantee you'll see 2 or 3 things that you've never noticed before, and that becomes your starting point. And I said that I would touch on clips and I would go back to it, right? Here's the other side of this. Your clips, they aren't just for self-review, they're your calling card, if you didn't know. When I go back to a club or a contact with a recommendation about a player, I need something to back it up, footage. If you don't have it, even if you're excellent, my recommendation is weaker because it's just word of mouth. There's nothing tangible to show. And especially if your clips are not formatted in the right way. Most talented grassroots players in the UK right now have 0 accessible footage. They're playing every single week, growing every single week, and there's no trail, there's no evidence. So quite frankly, that's why I created a free guide specifically on how to master your clips and get them seen by scouts. It shows you how to score your own clips to our standard so that you know that they're scout ready. It's free. Again, it's free and the link is in my description. If you're serious about this, then download it today. Fitness 3 times a week outside of team training, okay? I know this sounds like a lot, but it's not complicated. 30 minutes each as a minimum. I actually want you to do way more than that. But runs, agility, sprints, okay? And here's why this matters at trials specifically, yeah? A scout sees a player who's physically sharp and explosive, and that makes an impression before they've even touched the ball. Your body shape, your physicality, how you hold yourself. It's one of the first 5 things that scouts assess in the opening 30 seconds. And on the other side of that, a player who fades in the second half, who's breathing hard, who's slowing down whilst everyone keeps on going, that tells the scout everything about how seriously you take your fitness or just where your body's at in that moment. 3 sessions weekly, 30 minutes to an hour. You don't need a gym, you need a park, your body, and some discipline. Number 8, ball mastery every single day, 15 minutes a day, okay? Now, what I'm about to list, they aren't drills that I found on YouTube, they're drills that I used to do myself, that I've watched academy players do every single day, and that I give to every single player that I work with before a trial. So little things like soul rolls, inside outside touches, sequences, wall passes with directional targets, okay, pressure simulation with cones. You don't need a pitch and you don't need a team, you just need a ball and 30 minutes of your own time. The players who get scouted are not always the most talented players, they're the most consistent players. And this is what consistency looks like. If you do these every day for 30 days and come back and tell me your first touch hasn't improved, I'll be very, very surprised. And in regards to your visibility and exposure, if you want to take your visibility even further, we've got an app called Minutes and it's completely free. It's the only platform in the UK where every single user is a player, a club, or a scout. You can upload your clips, build your football CV, and scouts can find you and message you directly. It's perfect. It links directly to the Clips Mastery guide that I mentioned, and it's included in the scouting guide. So make sure you download it, okay? The link is in the description. All right, last but not least, one of the most important ones, in fact, 10 minutes mental prep before every single session, okay? This is the one that most grassroots players have never even considered. Before every training session or game, I just want you to take 10 minutes and ask yourself 2 questions. This is part of your mental preparation, right? You ask yourself, okay, what am I working on today? And what feedback from the last time am I applying in today's session? That's it, just 2 questions, 10 minutes. Ask yourself, come up with the answers. Then I want you to do some breathing exercises and get yourself ready. This is the difference between showing up and showing up with intention. Give yourself some positive affirmations, meaning say positive words to yourself before your session. I'm ready, I've prepared, I'm gonna do the work. A player who arrives knowing what they're working on gets more out of every session than a player who just turns up and reacts to whatever happens. And here's one that I use before any high stakes environment. I want you to remind yourself why you're there. You're not there to be judged, but you're there to show what you've built. Then let go of everything outside of the next action. One moment at a time, live in the present, okay? That mental shift from what would they think of me to what can I control today, that changes everything. So that's the list, 9 things. None of them require an academy, okay? And none of them require too many connections or any connections, to be honest. None of them cost you anything except your effort, your integrity, your consistency, your commitment, your dedication, your discipline. The gap between grassroots and academy football is very, very real, but it's also very closable. And the players who close it are not the most talented players, they're the most disciplined players. So now let me tell you exactly where to go from here, because knowing this is one thing, but having the support to actually do it is another thing. First, join our free community group chat. The link is in the description. Inside that group, you're gonna meet other serious individuals like yourself who motivate and uplift each other, okay? Inside that group, you can ask me questions directly. I review my players' clips in there. We drop free training gems every single week. We post new opportunities as they come up. And there's a channel where you can post your upcoming matches, because we actually come and watch players' games as well. And that's all just for free. No catch, just a community of serious players who are pushing each other. Second, download the free guide on how to master your clips and get them seen by scouts. Also in the description. That guide shows you how to score your clips to our standard so that you know that they're scout ready before you send them anywhere, okay? If your clips aren't right, then scouts close them in seconds. This guide makes sure that doesn't happen to you. Third thing, download the free guide on how to get scouted in 2026. Again, the link is in the description. That covers the full picture, how scouting actually works right now, what scouts actually look for right now, okay? And how to position yourself and how to use your clips and your network to create real opportunities for yourself. It also includes everything about our scouting app, Minutes, which is free to download. Okay, that's where scouts, clubs, players, they all connect in one place. Your clips, your profile, your visibility, all in one spot, 24/7, available at your disposal, okay? Fourth, if you're local to London, we run monthly showcase events in Dagenham every single month. Scouts and clubs from my network get notified, scouts attend in person, your clips from the session get sent directly to my contacts, standout players get spotlight interviews, there's a leaderboard that scouts actually see. This isn't just another training session, it's a monthly platform where serious players get coached, tracked, and put in front of the people who can actually open doors, potentially change your life. The spots are capped at 50 every single month. The details are in the description and in the community. You see, I've built all of this because when I was in your position, injured, released, no one in my corner, none of this actually existed for me. We were living in different times. I don't think most of you young boys will know. I had to figure it out alone, and you don't. The gap is closable, but nobody's gonna close it for you. So make sure you go and do the work, please. Keep it basic. See you soon. Like, comment, and subscribe, man. We've got more videos coming. Later.